Hello, Greater Akron. How you doing? This is Coach Kemp Boyd here from Love Akron. Welcome into my Zoom office space. This is where I kind of do all of my Zoom meetings. Usually I'm outside doing it, but it started raining, believe it or not. So I didn't think it was going to be good for us to try to shoot this in the rain. It's been a very active July, not only from a standpoint of what we've been doing from our platform here at Love Akron, but also I just think in Greater Akron in general, there's been a lot of organizations that have really, I think, launched down into the deep when you talk about some of the challenges that are going on right now in our society, whether it's COVID-19, school reopenings, some of the racial tension or conversation that has started to erupt. And so what I want to say to everyone, all the organization, everybody that has been active and engaged in this, thank you so much. Thank you so much for leaning into the uncomfortable spaces, and know that you're not alone in it. We're right there with you as an organization, but also as individuals. And so just want to talk to you just a little bit about, I go and a lot of times people say, hey man, can you come and speak to our team? Can you come and speak to our group or our executives about just leadership? And so I get asked a lot, man, kind of what is your approach to leadership, if you will? And I always say, man, my approach to leadership is always stay hot. Because, man, I know I'm a hot individual, right? I look good, I'm gorgeous, at least that's what my wife tells me.
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
But no, what I mean by hot is it's more of an acronym for me to remember. So the H stands for something, the O stands for something, and the T stands for something. So I had to really go back and I had to do some correction of myself and I had to start building my team. But I had to be hot. There's a liberty and a freedom when we allow people to be their best selves in the moment. It's just good to keep me focused and bring me back to center. So what I want to talk to you today about is what the H means to me in hot. H means just humble. I always want to try to remain humble. When I first got this position at Love Akron, the one thing that I always said as I talked to people and met people is that I don't know what I don't know. And so by remaining in a posture as a listener, it really keeps you in a posture of humility and humbling yourself to people that you interact with. And that in every conversation, good, bad, or indifferent, there's something that I can take from it that I can learn from if I remain humble. And so throughout the course of the past 2 months, we've launched and we've done Connection versus Collision, the black-white conversation. And through these panel discussions, I've seen examples of people, if you will, being humble. Being humble from a standpoint of saying, hey, I don't know or understand. How should I approach this? Even to the point where after the panel, I received a lot of calls. I received calls from white brothers and sisters says, hey Kent, man, like now I get it and I understand to a certain extent, but I still have more to learn. They posture themselves from a place of humility to want to continue to learn about, hey, I don't know what I don't know. And so for me, that's what humbleness is about, is being able to say, I don't know what I don't know, but I'm willing to learn if you're willing to teach. And so I've created over the past 2 to 3 weeks some really good relationships with people that have just called me out of the blue that says, hey, we saw this video, we saw what you had to say, and man, it really motivated me or inspired me. I would love to grab a cup of coffee or a bite to eat with you just to talk more about it. And so going into that, I could have been prideful and said, nah, man, I don't have time. But I think when people are calling and wanting to reach out to you and they want to be better, right? And they want to understand, because I think in all of our getting, we need to get understanding. I wanted to remain humble to meet with people. I didn't want to be the one that says, well, I don't have time and my schedule's busy and oh man, call my assistant. No, man, I would stop and say, hey, listen, tell me what time you have available. Whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's an hour, let's take the time to meet and to talk. And when I'm not being hot, then I'm not functioning in my being. And so H is about being humble. So next month, I'll talk about what the O means in hot. We're really excited about what we're doing at Love Akron, and we're excited about it. Why? Because we're not doing it alone. We're doing it with you. We're doing it with you, Greater Akron. And man, we don't take that for granted. And with that, we want to remain humble as we do it, because it's not our platform. It's a platform that we want to stand on together. So, like we always say, if you don't do anything else today, make sure that you love Akron.